So, friends are investing, families are investing. Everywhere you go, people are talking about this kind of investment, that kind of investment. But how do you know if you are really in that place to start investing? That's what we're talking about in this episode of the Wealth Nation podcast.
Welcome to the Wealth Nation podcast, a podcast for every mother, daughter, grandmother, sister, and wife, and the men who are smart enough to tune in. The Wealth Nation podcast brings you all you need to know about investments, business, property investments, personal finance, and all-around financial wellness. Here is your host, Yolanda Rose.
Thanks for joining me on the show today. I am Yolanda Hariprasad, financial advisor and wealth coach. And it is my goal on this podcast and any other social media platform that you find me on is to bring you content, tips, and strategies that you can use to manage your money well and build generational wealth. If it's the first time that you're here, hello, thanks for choosing us. Please subscribe on whichever platform that you're listening to us right now. And I would greatly appreciate if you could leave us a review on whichever platform, especially if you're on iTunes right now or Apple Podcasts, as they call it these days. Leave us an honest review. It will help me reach out to people just like you and make this podcast become more visible to them. Even go on to our Facebook page and leave an honest review there as well in the reviews tab of Facebook. And link up with us on our various social media as well. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also check out our YouTube channel. Our handle is Financially Fabulous Females. The Wealth Nation podcast is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a seller and producer of spoken audio entertainment, information, and educational programming on the internet. Audible sells digital audiobooks, radio and TV programs, and audio versions of magazines and newspapers. For a 30-day free trial of Audible, go to www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/audible. So if investments have been on your mind for a while and you're a little bit confused as to whether it's a good time, are you in the best place? Today we're going to discuss how can you tell or what signs should you be looking for if you are ready to start investing? Well, lots of folks nowadays are really hot-footed when it comes to investments, from shares, property, and investing is still a daunting word for many folks. And it brings fear, mainly because it's so unknown, or the nitty-gritty of it is so unknown. If you're really interested in growing your wealth, there are a number of ways that you can redirect a portion of your income or your savings into financial growth vehicles that fit your current lifestyle and your position. And the nice thing about South Africa is that even under 18s can invest with the help of the parents or guardian, of course. Even under 18s can invest and enjoy the time in the markets that was never available to that extent. When I say invest, I'm not talking about a fixed deposit in a savings account like that. I'm talking really invest, JSE invest. Under 18 South Africans can do that. Now, if you're currently earning more than it costs to live, it would be a great time to invest. One of the most important boxes to tick right here before investing is being confident that you are making enough money to cover your expenses and you have the ability to save and contribute towards an investment each month.
Raising financially savvy children involves teaching them a variety of skills, from budgeting to planning to earning and saving. Besides giving them an understanding of the value of a rand, it prepares them for real-world finances. Financial literacy is a vital skill, and it is never too early to teach your kids about money. Many parents wonder how they can teach their kids about money and where to find age-appropriate resources. You can now purchase the Financial Literacy for Kids workbook, which is aimed at primary school kids. It's now available at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com. This workbook provides you with 12 lessons, activities, lesson plans, discussion points, and quizzes that you can use to test your kids' knowledge. Shop now at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com.
The rich don't follow the crowds. They set the trends and are gone by the time the trends become mainstream. What's their secret? They think for themselves about money and make their own financial decisions because they have high financial intelligence. Wealth Insiders is a platform that I have created for South Africans to expand their financial intelligence. Financial knowledge and wisdom only comes through high financial intelligence that is gained from applying yourself to financial education. Wealth Insiders is a first of a kind membership program that is aimed at building financial intelligence in South Africans in order to apply financial intelligence when building wealth. Join now at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/join. Inside this membership, you will get over 30 hours of video training on personal finance and investments in South Africa, with additional content being added every single week. Complimentary ebooks on money and wealth management. Interviews with major players in the financial industry. One live financial training session every month and one video Q&A session every month as well. So join now at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/join.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Tuned In. Now back to the show.
You also want to make sure that you don't have any outstanding high interest debt. Like if you're if you have a property, for example, that's understandable, but you're not stuck with consumer debt that typically has very high interest rates, which is likely to be higher than the long-term return of whatever it is that you choose to invest in. So nip those nasty high interest debts in the bud before even thinking about investing. You also need to stop poor spending habits. Now, the difference between what you earn and what you spend on expenses each month is the amount that you have left over in savings, which you could consider investing. So if you're really spending lavish amounts of money on takeaways and high-end coffees and these little knickknacks that they really don't add much value to your life, there's still some creases to iron out on your personal spending that could make investing even more rewarding in the long term. So you want to reevaluate your budget, cut off those extra knickknacks that just don't add value to you. And once you've once you've made that smooth, you can consider investing. You have to have an emergency fund in place. Now, sometimes, as you know, from this weird year that we've been having, life throws you unexpected curveballs. And when one curveball comes, you got to know there's about 8 to 9 or even 10 coming your way quickly after. So at times, there's nothing you can do about it except be financially prepared. So before you start investing, it's important to ensure that you have an emergency fund topped up with cash that you can save even if you lose your job, or you have a very high penalty to pay, from a traffic fine to insurance accesses. So you must be able to take that hit and not have that impact on your investment. So you got to have that emergency fund in place. One of the best things that you can do is set up an automatic transfer every month. Once your salary hits your account, a small amount is automatically goes into the savings portion of your account. When that account actually builds up to an amount that you're comfortable with, ideally 3 to 6 months to get started with, and in the start building long term to maybe a year, 2 years, and 3 years to buffer your emergency savings. Then you can start considering to invest those extra funds. Savings interest accounts aren't as good as you think. They really reduce the buying power of your money in terms of inflation. And depending on the amount of interest you're earning, you could be taxed. If you are earning over $23,500 in interest, you could be taxed as well. You also have to have long-term financial goals in mind. Now, before you start investing your money in shares, in property, in ETFs, it's important to know why you're doing it. For example, if you want to use your money to buy a house in a couple of years, investing in shares might not be the best strategy for you. Investing is best done with a long-term view, and generally you should have a time frame of at least 5 to 10 years. And if you need your money in the short term, you might not have enough time for the share exchange to recover from a dip, or in a worst case scenario, a major drop, such as in a global financial crisis, as we're seeing now with the whole COVID-19. Now, I know these days a lot of folks are choosing not to marry, and they just have live-in partners, and sometimes the discussion of finances might not come up. So if you're married, it's a little bit easier to do because legally you're bound together. and you have some degree, you've combined your finances, and hopefully you guys are planning together if you are married. If not, and you are in a long-term involved relationship with your partner and you're not married, you're going to have that financial talk. Your partner has to be on board with the idea of you investing, especially if you're in that long-term committed relationship. So between the two of you, you should have an understanding of what you're saving or investing for and why. What are you going to achieve with it? And whether or not you guys agree on what you're saving for and what your goals are. You also have to understand the market. Now, investment comes with an element of risk, and a lot of folks are keen to invest, keen to make money, but they're not ready to lose money, and that's what risk is about. You got to take the dips and the spikes. And there are ways to manage this risk, such as proper diversification, but you cannot fully eliminate risk when it comes to investments. Understand how much of risk you are willing to take and what return you can expect for that risk is very, very important. It's also good to understand your options, and a lot of folks don't know that in South Africa because all of the financial institutions will bombard you with adverts on their products, but it's not really a holistic picture of what's out there for a customer that's ready to invest. And that's one of the reasons I created the Wealth Insiders platform. It's to show you about personal finance, to show you the investment options, the risk level, the tax implications. So you have all of that knowledge, to show you strategies that you can use to really build your wealth in the various options that you have to invest. So if you want to know more about that, check out www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com/join. This platform is a membership platform that will give you the information that you need. It's learning, it's building financial intelligence. And lastly, you must want to grow your wealth. You must have that genuine desire to grow your wealth, and not just to be greedy or materialistic, but to be a responsible steward of your money. You may even want to invest in a certain company or a sector that is meaningful to you, and you believe that it's an important contribution that the sector is making to the world. For example, you may want to invest in solar energy to promote renewable energy sources, or put money in a technology that can aid the development of third world countries. And when you do invest in shares in these kind of companies or funds that invest in these kind of companies, these companies have more money to do their kind of research, expand their product, expand their footprint, and make a greater impact on the world. So you may earn an average salary and realize that investing can help you reach life goals in a way that simply saving a paycheck every month just can't be done. All right, so that's if you ticked all those boxes, you're ready to invest. And if you're ready to invest, I want to chat to you. So drop me a mail. It's yolanda@financiallyfabulousfemales.com. I'd love to chat with you, complimentary chat on the investment options that's available to you right now in South Africa. And when I say investment options, I'm not talking about peer lending, Bitcoin, Forex, that kind of thing. Talking about legit investments in South Africa, registered in South Africa, covered by the financial services sector, conduct authority, linked up with SARS. So you have some sort of legal protection in the South African environment. All right, so reach out. It's Yolanda at Financially Fabulous Females. And don't forget to check out the Wealth Insiders. It's financiallyfabulousfemales.com/join. Now, this platform is open all the time. You can join at any time, but the prices vary at different times. So lock your discount in now, because once you're in, you're in. All right, so I'll chat to you next week on the Wealth Nation podcast.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to visit our website at www.financiallyfabulousfemales.com and sign up for our free investment masterclass.